I think there are certainly some changing trends overall in the music business. I think we've seen that. I think there's certainly been a lot of talk up until recently that, perhaps art music or classical music is in jeopardy, its future is in jeopardy, that perhaps people are moving finally away from, this older music, seeing it as, music that's not relevant to a lot of people. But I've always felt deep down that wasn't necessarily the case. If you went back 50 years, you could probably find similar articles that spelled out the gloom and doom of music and art in society. And I think there are many things to worry about on that front. I think we as an orchestra and as an organization that fosters the performance of art music in a live way have to find as many ways as we can to not only share our music with people, both live and in recording, but to find new ways to make ourselves relevant to some people who maybe are doubtful that there's anything that the symphony would bring that they would understand or even enjoy. And that's a really complicated issue. I mean, there's, that whole issue of cultural relevance is one that no one knows the answer. There's no silver bullet. There's no switch that's flipped on where we all of a sudden have this problem solved. And we go at it in several different ways. We of course make great classical music accessible to a lot of different people, and a lot of times for free or at very, very low cost. And this is something orchestras have been doing for a long time, but we have the obligation to make it as relevant and as exciting and as inviting as possible. It's not just, well, let's have a free concert and people can come and they don't have to pay anything. It's a real effort to embrace that performance opportunity as an invitation for people. And we've done a lot of this with concerts, but also on the marketing team has done a lot of sampling work. They've made the invitation to people through direct mail and through other offers where they're saying, come and try what we do. I mean, this is no different than what happens when you receive a sample in the mail for laundry detergent, or half the battle is getting someone to try the product. And if they've not grown up with the product, in this case being music, if they haven't been around music, then it's a big step for a consumer to, especially in the orchestra arena, to try. So, there's that side of it, which is just the trial of what we do each and every day. And then there's kind of finding some new avenues to get people here and to experience what an orchestra does. And this is maybe a slightly more controversial avenue, but I think one that frankly drew me to this side of the business maybe more than anything else, which is an orchestra in particular has such great flexibility in what it can do. I mean, we've just done concerts over the last week where, we were playing Stravinsky's Firebird and Prokofiev Classical Symphony and Sibelius Violin Concerto, and tomorrow night we're doing a concert with Winona Judd. And many people would say, well, are you cheapening what an orchestra does? I don't think so. I think she's a great performer. I mean, we always hold our guest performers to the highest standards, and so as long as an artist is really great quality, we're interested in exploring different avenues of music with them. And we'll have hopefully several hundred people here tomorrow night who've never been to the Houston Symphony before, who are coming to hear Winona Judd, but knowing that it's a special opportunity for them to hear her with a full symphony orchestra. And we're not going to get those same several hundred people to become subscribers tomorrow, but we will have touched them in a way that we hadn't before, and they will then have maybe at least a better understanding that this is their orchestra here in Houston, not just the Houston Symphony that doesn't really necessarily impact my life. So, I mean, that's just one single example, and there are probably a dozen others, on the kind of more commercial side of programming where I think we're creating two opportunities for ourselves. One is to sell additional tickets and create earned income, but also to have a new door or a new access point for audiences.